Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Welcome and thank you so very much for joining me. Today I am sharing July No Paper Left Behind. Right now it is July 30th. It's 7:45 at night and I was sitting here thinking there's virtually no way I can use up all this paper in like 24 hours, right? Especially since I do have to work tomorrow. This is giant strips of scraps. So if you're used to working with 6x6 pads, this is probably the equivalent of a 6x6 still in my hands. So I thought about it and I thought, well, I'm gonna run long for July. It's the first time I think in my No Paper Left Behind that I've done it, but I'm gonna show you my plans, give you an update, and then next week I have a week of vacation and we're doing a girls crafting weekend. So I'll show you how it all turns out, but I just wanted to give you an update. I think I did pretty well because it was another one of those months where I waited till the very end. I was using Bow Bunny Bee-utiful. If you look at these, I was thinking I'm not gonna throw these out or anything because I could die cut a big circle right here and get 4 of the papers, or I could take a small circle punch and get a section here to build a grouping of embellishments on. And same with this one, they put the pattern on the back, and this one has a nice big long strip, and this is one of my favorite papers from it, so I might use those. Either way, if I don't use them for that, I always save these because I use them for die cutting and layering on tags. I use them for paint smushes. These are not trash to me. It's just a matter of, am I going to use them with the collection or not? When I was moving the paper pad over here to show you, I realized there's one untouched piece of paper in the pad. I don't know how I missed it. It's not my favorite though, so that's why it was in there. Then these, do you remember I tried dyeing some papers? I saw it in a video about dyeing your single-sided papers, and I think these will be great in a junk journal. What I don't like about them for the projects I'm working on now is their texture is different and their color is off. I think I could use them in the smaller project, but I had this smaller journal started and then I did this one and they just didn't fit with that at all. In fact, I think in one place I did use it because I needed the paper because this wasn't really meeting my needs. But other than that, I'm gonna put these in my junk journal stuff. I have like a box where I put bluish stuff that I will use later, which a whole bunch of it I used in my July daily this year, which I'm not caught up in that either. So I'm not going to toss those out, but I'm not going to use them right now because I decided I have done July daily. I've used a lot of junk journal stuff and I need a break from that. I just started using the chipboard tonight on the cover of this album. I'm not going to use the chipboard in this smaller journal because I think it would make it too bulky, and I already have a cover that I'm happy with. I think I might have showed you guys this before, so I'm just going to wait and show you this when it's all done. This is for my friend who I'm really hoping is not watching my channel because she will probably know when she sees that it's for her. But she's not a paper crafter, but sometimes she watches, you know, just find out what I'm up to. Okay, then I have all these embellishments and things that I have fussy cut or die cut. So I'm going to do my normal trick and I'm going to put all of this in a bottle of glue and put it into my tray, maybe some washi, and make some embellishment clusters and put some groupings together while I watch TV in bed. That's kind of how tired I am, you know? It's not that I've lost my mojo, it's that I've lost my energy. It was a very big compliment to me. I took it as a big compliment because one of you asked, and I'm not going to say who just in case she's embarrassed, but one of you asked if maybe I could talk about how I manage my time at home as a crafter and like kind of how I plan my days and do stuff, especially during COVID when we're not going out into the world. And I said, well, I work all day. And she was surprised because she just assumed, I think probably based on how much I make, but that's kind of how I balance out my life. I bring crafting and relaxing into it so that I can stay sane. Some of you may have seen on Instagram, I've been posting as I go. Is this not amazing? I mean, maybe you make things like this all the time, but this is my first hinge and gusset journal ever, and that's the binding style. And I said journal, it's not really, it's really more of a scrapbook. because it is ready to glue pictures in. So you can see right here, I have a flap where you could put pictures. You could put them right here, right here. All of these have pullouts, and what I did was I put my favorite paper on the front, and then I had started this journal, had the papers all chopped up, all kinds of stuff, was way down the road, then saw the tutorial on Project 39 mini albums, Debbie, and thought, I'm going to make one of those, and I'm going to do it now. I'm tired of thinking about it. I'd been watching Daniella Hayes make those beautiful books, and I just thought, it's time. I didn't think about how much paper I had left. It seemed like a ton to me, but these really use a lot, and we can talk about that a little bit at the end. So what I did was I put the papers that I liked on the front, and then the pull-out tab has one on the back that may not be my favorite, which, you know, everybody has different style anyway, so that's fine. These all go back in, and then this page flips out, pictures all across here, and I am going to decorate it. I just am stopping for now. And you can see, and then this one has yellow. Yellow is not really my thing. I know a lot of you love it, and I get that. Purple, remember purple I do like. And this blue, oh my gosh, look at all this blue. I have put some papers in here that could be used as photo mats. And like I said, I'm going to decorate and do some stuff. I just was so excited that I did the actual album. And I think I'm going to put this in my Etsy store. It's amazing and I love it, but I didn't really need a scrapbook right now. And for me, I wanted to use that beautiful paper and try this, but I think my next one, maybe I'll make more of a junk journal. I guess combining the two styles maybe a little bit. I don't know, but I don't think I'm going to keep this. So if you have a super serious interest in it or something, you can go ahead and tell me, because it's not going to be on Etsy right away. Clearly I have some more work to do. Then bees, and I went down here with a little tiny strip that was left over. I do like this, and maybe this is a little bit different yellow, so I like it. And then I put that floral in there and pullouts here and just solid on the back. And this is my first one, and I had, like, as a crafter, you see it, the glue. I learned a lot in this project. I guess now's as good a place to tell you, but I just want to keep this video fairly short. My art glitter glue bottle, I've rolled the tip onto another bottle and probably never stopped and soaked and cleaned it since the time that I damaged it and made you a video of what not to do and had to buy a new one. So when I put out a bead of glue, it was small and it was drying too fast because it's 75 in here right now and the air conditioner is right next to me. So lots of times it's either too hot or I have air blowing right on me. So if you want to make these kinds of albums where you're laying giant pieces of paper together, be sure that you wash out your art glitter glue so that you get a big enough bead, because I covered it up, but when I did the cover, I had almost like a ridge because my glue was too dry. It was narrow beads and they were drying too fast. So that's something to keep in mind. And, you know, I might have less perfection than if Debbie or Daniella made it, but I'm still super excited about it. And I think that it's pretty fabulous. And if nobody wants it, that's totally fine, because you know, 6 months from now when it's raining, I will sit around and fill it with pictures and love the prints. Now, this stripe, notice it's on the very last section. I did not like this paper and I did not want to put it in here, but I was low on paper, especially in colors that I liked. And when I put it in here, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So I thought it was funny how putting it against the navy changed the background. I really did love it. The other thing that I learned in this book from listening to Debbie and watching her, she's Project 39 mini albums, and watching her, is about scoring. And had you asked me, I would have said, yes, I know how to score. This is my EK Tools scoreboard. And I think I have some tutorials about how to make envelopes with it. But other than that, it's pretty self-explanatory. I never use this. It's too narrow. I think it damages the paper most of the time. I don't use it. So I typically use, not my Teflon one because I don't want to mess up the tip, this bone folder. Debbie uses like the metal balls. She said because this wears down and then you don't get problems. I found that I was much happier with my scoring. It was more consistent and I thought it was a little faster, maybe even. These tools were actually out in the shop. They were in my, I never use those and they're in my way, so I just moved them out to the shop. And I think that Noni had it and she wasn't using it, so she gave it to me. That's just something to keep in mind. And, you know, they come in all different sizes. Like this one, probably too big, so I just went through. If you use one that's too small, you'd have to be really careful about pressure or you're going to end up like this yellow one and cut it. That was one of my takeaways from watching Debbie. That's an example of, if you're watching a tutorial, even though you might never want to make the project they're making, you can still get great tips, right? Because I thought I knew about scoring, but this is a whole lot of cutting and scoring. And I am going to do another cutter comparison video soon because I have strong opinions on cutters. After this, I cut a lot of paper and I really got to know my new big old Fiskars orange one. Look at this cover. I didn't want to use chipboard in the other one, but I like it in here. And this thing is so thick that I can probably use some chipboard inside it too and not cause any troubles. I haven't made one of these, so I don't have experience decorating them. I also have some random scraps like this and a couple of cut apart things that are a little big. You can see why I decided to just call it for tonight. These things are the cut aparts and strips that I thought I would use, but I haven't yet. I really like this one, but I couldn't find a spot in this journal that I liked for it. Since I'm learning in this journal, I didn't probably do as many like flips and pockets as I will do in the future or would have. And I just wasn't sure what I was going to do with it either. But I could have used more paper there. I was just a little bit shy about how much paper I had and how late I wanted to stay up every night because those take a while. As I mentioned, had a great time making this and I will make another one. I might go back and check under Debbie's tutorials. The cover you need 2 pieces of 12 by 12 for. Then you need 8.5 by 11, or you could use 12 by 12 of course, for all of the rest of the navy blue cardstock that you see. But I'm not really sure how much grand total of everything I need. So I'm trying to figure out what's the smallest patterned paper pad I could use and what could I get away with. I don't have any more 12 by 12 in this blue. In fact, I got lucky. I asked Noni, who is like a store next door to me, and she had the exact paper that went with my 8.5 by 11. Like it must have been from the Michaels 12 by 12 pads or something. So that's something I'm trying to figure out. Figuring out if you're going to make those, exactly what you need in advance. I was making my first one, had my papers not matched exactly, I would have just kept going and had a great time because I believe that all blues work together. Now, I'm going to keep working on those and I'll show you that. I'm going to make a whole bunch of videos next week, but they probably won't all roll out at the same time. I'm not going to like bombard you with, this is what I'm doing every hour all next week. It will be fun though. I'm planning staycation and girls crafting weekend, and I'm hoping that we don't do things like paint the bathroom and bark dust and, you know, some of the really glamorous things we've been doing. I am trying to figure out what I'm going to do for No Paper Left Behind for August. Can you believe it's August? I think this is it. I think, which is crazy because it's another big pad, not 48 sheets though, only 36, Playful Pets. And it has, those of you who know, I lost my sweet old dog at the end of March, and so I kind of needed a break from pet papers, but I think I'm ready. And I have some friends who asked before to have some pet sympathy cards and that sort of thing. Noni would like me to make her, once she saw that blue book, first she wanted one of these, then when she saw the blue book, she's leaning towards one of those. But I don't think this will do it because, and this is what I'm talking about, learning. This has 12 pieces of cardstock, right? Or 12 pieces of patterned paper. There are 6 of these flaps, and each one of them has 2 sides, and then there's 2 inside. So right there, you have 4 pieces of approximately 8x8 piece of paper that you need. And I didn't scrap any of them together. Maybe Debbie has some ideas for that, or somewhere that she does. These weren't actual scraps. They just went together. But I don't know, maybe you could do that. But it takes a lot of paper. So one collection pack from Tuesday morning that I can make cards with for days isn't going to do it. The other thing is, if you watch my Instagram, Noni has this adorable little puppy. I mean, I'm talking Maggie May. She like fits in your hands. She is tiny and feminine. And I just don't feel like Bark does her justice. Noni likes this, so maybe we'll do something with this. But I feel like they make cat collections more feminine and dog collections more masculine, because I noticed that in looking for papers to do, like I was going to do scrapbook pages for Pooh, and there was just nothing that really said this should be for Pooh Bear. It's like a boy. This is for Wilson. So I have these. I might use one of these just to use it up, not necessarily for her project. Bark is actually hers. Meow is mine. But I'm thinking I'm going to go big and do playful pets. And I'll show you. Most of it could be used if I did a dog album for her. Is that too annoying? I'm going to zoom you in a little so you can see better. There are some that are specifically cats or mice, so those would have to go. But I think this is a little more feminine than Bark. And I started counting up the pieces of paper, and I think it will work. It might be kind of a stretch, might have to sub in some other patterns or solid cardstock. I mean, these colors, I don't love for an album for Maggie May, but Noni might. Glitter hearts, you can always use that. The other thing about this paper is, even though it's double-sided, because it has the glitter on it, I don't think that if you were making one of those blue albums, you would want to flip it over, because I think you would get kind of a lumpy texture. So I think you need to use the glitter side. If you only liked the other side, it wouldn't work. As you do different types of projects, you look for different things in your paper or paper pads. That's why it's really handy that's actually how I got into cards, because if you have 12 by 12 paper and you make mini albums or scrapbook pages or that sort of thing, you end up with scraps, so then you can make cards. I wouldn't ever take a pad this big and start chopping it up for cards. I'm always going to do a bigger project with it first. So that gives you an idea of maybe why people make tags or why people make tiny gift boxes. They're just trying to use up their scraps. They end up with too much. This is another idea I had. I could make an album for Maggie May out of this. Has nothing to do with pets. Now, I'm probably going to keep all the blue pages, but it's very girly, and we could add dog die cuts, dog stamps, dog sayings, all sorts of things. Noni has every machine known to man. She could cut anything out. So we could add the theme and just use the papers and colors and use this pad or maybe anything else that she has in her stash. This is a lot of pink and blue, so maybe I should just keep this. I don't have very many other paper pads. I don't think I have anything else that would be appropriate, but she might. And you could think about that if you were doing a dog album. What is your vote? Should I, for her album for July, should I do a smaller one and use Bark, because you like Bark, or Playful Pets, or should I go with something much more girly and try and make it, it wouldn't even be that hard. Dogs, we could use stamps and paw print embellishments and all kinds of stuff and make it a dog album. So let me know which one you think. And I'm curious to see what ideas you guys come up with, because I know that she would like to have a book like this for Maggie May and put all of her little adorable puppy pictures in there. She's ridiculously cute, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I will be back on Saturday with my goals video, which you probably have an idea of how it's going to turn out. And then I'll keep you posted during my vacation. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.